Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and apologies for the delay in getting the commentary side of things up and running. We had a few technical difficulties on the Twitch side of things, but we should now be all ready to go. As you can see at the moment, Boris Johnson is leading the way with a 120.287. I do have some information in regards to previous races here in Monza, in which we had Swanton Bomb finishing, I believe he was first position the past two races, with Scornful Griffin finishing in second place. Let's just I'll double check that. Yeah, most wins here in Monza in the DRS seasons is Swanton Bomb with 3 victories. So this is obviously one of his strongest tracks. We also have the lap record, which is held currently by Smug Git. Of course, the two league owners are 121.568, and I'm pretty sure that'll be beaten today with the slightly faster cars. So let's go up the grid. So Swanton Bomb at the moment with a 120.5. He's the closest challenger to Boris Johnson. Swanton, of course, in the Red Bull. And Boris Johnson, I think he occupies one of the Alpine, but I'll confirm that at a later point. UJGC then currently in 4th place. TSL Syme in 3rd place. And obviously we have big news which heavily involves Simon. Of course, TSL, which races on a Thursday, will now be merging with DRS. So we'll see 2 DRS races per week following into the new game, F1 2023. Let's go further down the grid. So in regards to Pro-Am drivers, Sainsy is ahead of everyone currently. Actually, no, it could be Centra Finley. I think, actually, no, sorry, apologies. It is Centra Finley who is ahead of everyone in the Pro-Am racing. Sainsy in 8th place. And Levi Hughes, who is leading the way in the Pro-Am Championship, currently in provisional P9. But there's still plenty of time for things to change. Laps haven't been set so far by Ninja MC, Ronnie, Scornful Griffin, DRS Smug Git, MK5 on bags, Indoneer Mum, and Joker. Still no lap times set by them. Henry DJ coming around with the 123.1. He's filling in for one of the drivers today. Easy Life occupying 11th place. His pace this season certainly has seemed to have improved quite rapidly. I think he was able to keep some good drivers at bay last week, so a massive shout out to Easy Life. And of course, if you have any questions as we're going along, by all means type them into the stream chat, or if you're one of the racers, type them into the Discord chat. And Scornful Griffin then goes provisional P1 with a 119.590, an absolutely fabulous lap, and the first driver to break into the 119 barrier. So well done to Scornful Griffin. Let's go now down to Ronnie, who I believe actually he has invalidated. Let's go to Smug Git on the in the Williams. See what sort of lap time he can produce. Of course, he does hold the fastest lap record in DRS. I believe I said it earlier. I think it was a 121. Yeah, 121.568. Don't see too many DNFs around this track for DRS. The average is 2, which is pretty good going. The Season 2's results were Swanton finishing in 1st, Simon in 2nd, Hybrid, of course, who no longer with us in the league, finishing in 3rd. Myself for the Pro-Am finishing in 1st, Batman in 2nd, and Sainsy in 3rd place. Looks as if we've got sunshine throughout this whole Grand Prix weekend. which I'm pretty sure will please many of the drivers in question. Looks like Smug Git is just about to start his flying lap. Seemed to use too much ERS on his previous. It does look as if people are having issues with party and game chat as well. There's a few little bits and pieces going on, but the Twitch issue was mine alone, unfortunately. And yeah, here goes Smug Git round into Sector 2. We'll stick with the Williams driver until he completes his flying lap. Scornful Griffin still up the top and fastest. MK5 on backs has swooped on up into provisional P3, so a great lap time from him, a 120.4. A lot of these drivers, they've got to find quite a bit of extra time to catch up to Scornful Griffin. Smug Git now moving into the final echelons of this lap. And he does decide to enter the pit. Obviously something went wrong with that lap. I missed it. Matteo going slightly faster through Sector 2, which is good news for me and the McLaren team. He is the only driver out there today, which is a real shame. I think we were supposed to be having Dangerous Dave, but unfortunately he hasn't turned up to the race. So my team is down to one driver. Both myself and 50 Gent unable to race, mine due to an injury. And Matteo with a spin in Sector 3. Not ideal for the McLaren team and me in particular, but he's not doing a bad job so far, currently residing in 12th. But he's good enough to certainly get himself a bit higher. Well, fingers crossed anyway. Swanton Bond then now moving up into P3. Centra Findlay doing a fantastic job for the other half of the Williams team. Well, will he soon be overtaking his father, Smug Git, as the pro driver? He's doing a fabulous job. He is up in 4th place and is the highest of the Pro-Am drivers. A really excellent, good job from him. I'll tell you what, nobody seems to be able to get close to Scornful at the moment. TSL Syme still in the pit lane. I think Joker is now out, so we'll ride on board then with Joker. He is slightly slower through Sector 2, and he runs ever so wide there. I don't think his Alfa Romeo is going to get any faster. He's lucky at the moment that his teammate Sainzy is residing in P8 and doing a fabulous job, sitting second in the Pro-Am side of things. Levi Hughes, oh, and it's a real big spin by Joker, and that possibly, unless he can get back into the pits quickly, may even be the end of his qualifying stint. We'll ride on board then with Levi Hughes, who is running incredibly fast here. He's 0.6 up on his previous best. At the moment he is at least aiming for around 11th place, which would put him in P3 in terms of the Pro-Am. And Ninja MC has left the session. I'll stick with this for now. Now I will try and invite Ninja back to the race. Guessing he's struggling with internet issues. And Levi Hughes goes P7 and P2 in the Pro-Am. A fabulous lap time from him in the Mercedes. Well done to you, Levi. A fabulous job. We'll then ride on board then to Ronnie. Ronnie, one of the favourites to win the Pro-Am Championship, certainly at the start of the season. And bearing in mind that he actually, I believe he won the Miami Grand Prix in the DRS last season. I think he got a couple of podiums as well, so he's certainly got to be the favourite for the Pro-Am Championship. We'll stick with him for the time being in that Alpine. He has got a bit of traffic in front of him though. I'm not overly sure who it is. And there is a massive spin then by Ronnie, and I tell you what, I think that is probably his qualification over. We are seeing people slip and slide all over the place through the hairpin in Sector 3. They're certainly struggling through there. We've already seen Joker spin off there, Matteo spin off there, and now Ronnie. And that really will not help him. Let's go then up to Boris Johnson, currently residing in P5. He's just starting his flying lap now. ERS fully activated. and he's a little bit quicker than his previous best, but it certainly will not be enough to even think about contending with Scornful Griffin, who is leading the way. TSL Syme goes a really quick 119.945. He's the second driver of the day to break into that 119 barrier. We do have quite a few drivers on flying and outlaps. In fact, there's only 4 drivers currently in the pits, which is Levi Hughes, Ronnie, Ninja, and Indoneer Mum. Who Ninja and Indoneer Mum yet to set a lap time. Indoneer Mum always has a lot of pace, but it's one of the, in fact, he's the only driver, I believe, that's yet to put any points on the board. In terms of pace, he's got to be one of the quickest in Pro-Am. We'll stick them with Boris. Let's see what he can do here. Boris Johnson crossing the line and goes P3 with a 120.039. Not enough to break that 119 barrier. Let's then go down to Swanton Bomb, who is just starting his flying lap. In fact, let's see if we can find somebody who's a little bit further through. MK5 and Bags is a little bit slower. Otherwise we would go to him. We'll go to Scornful. He's currently in provisional P1 and into the finer echelons of his lap, and he does run very wide. That will be the end of his qualifying. Let's move down to MK5 and Bags, who is considerably slower. He will not be improving on that, surely now. And, yeah, no, he's certainly given up there. We'll go down to UJGC, who's also slower as well. Really doesn't stand him in good stead either. He's half a second down on his previous best. Let's go to Swanton, who is ever so slightly quicker. With the lap time he's looking at the moment, he should be able to put himself up into about P4. He's going to have a really good final sector to get himself at least into the top 3. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him, but it doesn't seem to have caused him any issues. See what he does in the final part of this lap. Round the final hairpin. He's going to try and draft off of the Alpine, I think, in front of him. Swanton goes P2, a 119.896, a fabulous lap time from the champion. Really good stuff from him once again. I'll tell you what, I don't think we've got it. Oh, we've got Centra Finley, who is slightly faster. Let's see what he can do in the final part of his flying lap. Centra Finley crosses the line, P7, a magnificent job by him. It's P7 on race day, P1 though in the Pro-Am. Well done, Centra Finley, a fabulous job by yourself. And you can take the bragging rights in your household today as your teammate is down in P9. So an absolutely fabulous job by Centra Finley. Really altering the landscapes here in Pro-Am. I think many of us expected Ronnie to be by far the quickest overall in the season. I mean, alongside Levi and 50, but Centra Finley really doing well. Al Newt, best of luck to everyone. Gutted I can't race tonight. Tuning in from Gatwick Airport. Whereabouts are you going, Al? Are you going on holiday, or is it a work trip, or are you just working up there? Could be any of those. Let us know. So, fabulous job then by Scornful Griffin. He takes P1 here in Monza for the DRS Grand Prix with a 119.590. Swanton Bomb in second place with a 119.896. TSL Syme, the last of the 119 runners in the AlphaTauri, a 119.945. Boris Johnson taking P4, MK5 on Bags P5, UJGC P6, Centra Finley, the highest of the Pro-Am drivers, P7, Levi Hughes P8, and P2 for Pro-Am. DRS Smugget P9, Matteo in P10, and yeah, we haven't really got enough time to round out the rest of them, but a fabulous job by everyone in qualifying. We're going to roughly have about a 3-minute break or so. Yeah, we're going to have about a 3-minute break or so. I'll be back with you shortly. Thank you. Okay, and I am back in the hot seat. So just whilst we're waiting, then we'll have a quick look through the current league tables. Let's have a look. So, leading the way in the Drivers' Championship is Scornful Griffin with 64 points in the Aston Martin, doing a fabulous job once again here in Monza. Boris Johnson in second place in the Alpine with 48 points. There's a little bit of a gap there, already starting to form at the top of the championship. Swanton Bomb, your current champion in P3 with 45 points. MK5 on bags with 40. TSL Syme with 33 points in 5th. DRS Smug-Git with 30 points for the Williams in P6. UJGC, surprisingly, down in 7th place. He'll be disappointed with how things have started so far. Ben Lane in P8. Bunny's Vengeance, who's not actually one of the drivers, he's a reserve driver, but a fabulous driver anyhow. Currently residing in P9. And Joker, who again will be disappointed with his season so far, residing down in P10. In terms of the Pro-Am Drivers' Championship, Levi Hughes leads the way with 80 points. There's a massive gap at the top there. The Sloth for Pro-Am not racing today, 40 points behind. And then my teammate 50 Gent on 37 points. He's still doing a great job, bearing in mind he's missed the past 2 races. So he's doing really, really well. In terms of constructors, Mercedes lead the way with 108. Aston Martin with 104. And then Alpine with 82. So there's a bit of a gap forming between the top 2 drivers. But we're almost ready to get underway here. The the formation lap starting as we speak. Let's see what tyre everybody's on today. So we've got Scornful Griffin then starting on the mediums. Swanton doing the complete opposite. Starting on the hards. Simon on the mediums. Boris Johnson on the hards. It always seems to be going hard, medium, hard. But which is then broken up by Centro Finley and Levi Hughes. The top 2 Pro-Am drivers starting on the medium compound tyre. Of course, we're not expecting any rain today, which will please all 18 drivers out there. Good evening, Sainty93. Thank you very much for joining us on the stream. Of course, concentrate on your formation lap now, and good luck for the race. So DRS Smug-Git starting on the hards. Matteo also on the hards. Ben Lane and Sainsy on the hards as well. Ronnie on the mediums. Joker surprisingly starting on the softs. Guessing may have been a bit of a wrong choice, that one, but yeah, strange. Easy Life on the mediums. Henry DJ9 on the hard compound tyre. Ninja MC on the mediums. And Indonesia Mum on the medium compound tyre as well. Almost ready to start this Grand Prix. Hopefully nobody else is having any more issues with getting connected with their friends and family in the party chats. I'm just having a look through previous race results here, and Season 1 was Swanton Bomb in first, TSL Syme in second, and Scornful Griffin in third. So the grid hasn't really changed too much since then, and Levi Hughes was leading the way for the Pro-Am side of things. So yeah, hasn't really changed overly much. I'm going to start with MK5 on bags. A few people not getting their parking spaces completely correct, which is unusual for this league. Most people tend to be able to get the purples in most of the time. Al Newt, let's go. I don't know if there is he was greyed out there. I might go to school. In fact, everyone seems to be greyed out. Whether or not this is a connection issue, we'll soon find out. It doesn't seem to be working brilliantly. Ninja MC has left the session, and the lights go out, and away we go. The racing starts here in Monza, and it's a fabulous start by the Haas of UJGC. Going down the inside and up into 4th place. Is there going to be contact here? Oh, yes there is. There's big contact there. He hits the Red Bull. And wisely stays off track. Thankfully, it hasn't cost Swanton too much. It looks as if Boris Johnson was riding on the grass a little bit there. But Swanton still remains in P2. But somehow, Matteo in the McLaren up 10 spaces. Wow. The driver, it did affect, may have been Scornful Griffin. Well, Levi Hughes has definitely been affected. And he's currently down in P18. He'll be really disappointed, having had a very good qualifying session. And for some reason, every car is greyed out for me. Whether or not that's something to do with joining the game late, I don't know. Which is annoying, but it doesn't matter. Riding on board then with TSL Syme, looking to make a move on Ben Lane. He hasn't got any DRS at the moment. It won't be turned on until lap 3 or so. He's right on his tail. If he gets a better exit here, which he does, he should be able to gain that position. Well, I tell you what, that Mercedes is looking very fast down that straight. Both of them using a fair amount of their ERS. Syme has the corner here, and the Alfa Romeo of Joker goes right into the back. I think it was off Ben Lane. And the two Alphas are right next to each other now, but Joker does seem to be struggling. Smugkit now dropping down to P12, allowing his teammate Centra Finley past. And at the moment in the Pro-Am side of things, Sainsy is leading the way. He did start P3 in terms of the Pro-Am, but he's now up into P8 and doing a fabulous job. Well done to you, Sainsy. The Swanton now dropping down to P4. Whether or not he's got some form of damage, nothing is coming up on the mechanical aspect on the HUD. Scornful Griffin dropping down to P3. MK5 on bags having a stupendous start to the race and getting himself up into P2. But of course, the drive of the day so far has to be Matteo driving in my McLaren. Come on, Matteo, let's go. Fabulous drive so far. I'm into P1. Swanton Bomb now dropping down to P5. TSL Syme overtaking him. I'm guessing Swanton has had some damage from the first lap. He is deciding to stay out, but I'm guessing he's got a bit of damage here. He's dropping down the grid incredibly fast. Let's go a little bit further down the back then. UJGC had that incident with Swanton on the first turn, turn 1. Now chasing Indoneer Mum, who's not had a bad start to the race himself. He started from P18, already up into P13. So he's doing a good job there. Henry DJ residing down in 15th at the moment, doing a good job for the Haas. Levi now trying to work his way back up the grid. He's already proved he's got the pace to be able to do that. So I expect to see him jump up a few more places in the next 10 or so laps. Ninja MC and the McLaren residing down in P17. Easy Life clearly not had the best start to his race. He had a good race last weekend from all accounts. Certainly looks a lot quicker this season than in previous seasons, but not having the race of his life so far. MK5 on bags now all over the back of that McLaren. He's really pushing this season to maybe have a go at either the Pro Drivers' Championship or the Drivers' Championship. In general, he's not too far off in terms of those points, but Scornful Griffin all over the back of MK5 on bags as well. MK5 on bags moving out to the wide. And will it be a double overtake here? I think Matteo might lose 2 places here. That lack of DRS really costing him. It's now a straight up battle between the Ferrari and the Aston Martin. And yeah, it's very clean from the both of them. Well done to the Ferrari and the Aston Martin, and Matteo himself as well. Wasn't much he could really do there. Of course, he's running on the hard tyre as well, which we do have to remember. If he can keep pace with the top 2 runners, he's still in with a very good chance of winning this Grand Prix. And the fact that MK and Scornful are going to be battling hard now for P1 may allow him to stay a lot further up than what he would think. Of course, yeah, I forgot that Swanton was also running on the hard compound tyre, which is another reason why he may have dropped slightly further down the grid than he probably expected. He's got his brother Joker behind him in the Alfa Romeo. He is on a set of softs though. Don't know how long they'll last, probably 5 or 6 laps. Ben Lane behind him in P7. Sainsy trying to defend off of Boris Johnson here in the Alpine. Remember, Sainsy, it's a Pro-Am game. Pick your battles. With Centra Finley now down the outside of Boris Johnson, and he takes P9 and P2 in the Pro-Am Championship. An absolutely fabulous overtake from him. He'll now look to move up into P1 in the Pro-Am Championship here. Centra Finley, he hasn't got a lot of DRS, but he will have the DRS available to him. Sainsy will look to defend. I don't think he's going to have much in the ways of stopping Centra Finley here, although he does cut across there. Not a lot of room left by Sainsy. Yeah, not too much room left there, unfortunately, but Centra Finley does get round him. I think Sainsy did give up the position. I think that will have to be taken into account, certainly, and unfortunately, whilst doing that, he may give up the position to Boris Johnson as well. And there is a touch between Sainsy and Boris Johnson, and Smug-Git also goes around Sainsy. And then all of a sudden, Boris Johnson brakes very, very heavily, which then causes Smug-Git to go into the back of him. I don't know if that was an internet connection problem there. It did seem that way. So now Scoreful Griffin back where he belongs, and top of the cherry. TSL Sign picking up a 3-second time penalty. That could really cost him come the end of this race. Swanton Bomb now up into P4. He's managed to get himself around TSL Sign as well. He's doing a good job. Now it's Joker who will attempt to maybe make a move on Sign. It does look as if he's coming into the pits. Yeah, Joker into the pits. 6 laps completed. Did a pretty good job on them, to be fair. Matteo losing out there to Swanton Bomb. And Swanton is up into P3. Matteo still doing a great job considering he started in P10. So hats off to you, sir. TSL Side now, he's got to contend with him, and he is running on just the medium compound time, so he will be a little bit quicker, you feel. But of course he does have that 3-second time penalty already accrued during the course of this race. Let's go down to Sainsy. He's just under half a second behind Ronnie. Not too far back considering he's on the hard compound tyre. Still had a good race so far. He was up in P7, I think it was. But he had a couple of incidents with, I think it was Boris and Centra Finley, I believe. So at the moment, Centra Finley is P1 in the Pro. And Matteo gets the position back from Swanton down the inside, just heading on into Sector 3. Matteo back up into P3. A good overtaking move from him. Swanton has now got to try and defend from his arch rival and nemesis, TSL Simon. Sainsy picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And Swanton will now have the DRS and ERS available to him, and he certainly gets a better exit out of the final turn than Matteo in the McLaren, and he jumps back up into P3. TSL Simon now also up into P4, doing a fabulous job. Of course, he is on the slightly faster compound of tyre to both Matteo and Swanton Bomb, but Matteo gets a really good exit out of turn 2. He's just about holding position. He will have the line going into the next corner, into turn 3. Will Simon give it up? No. I tell you what, Simon did a really good job there. Matteo does look incredibly fast out of those corners. Just wonder if he's losing a little bit down the straights. Centra Finley now will set his targets on Matteo. He's now up into P6. He's doing a fabulous job. P6 overall and P1 in the Pro-Am. He's doing absolutely fantastically. Levi Hughes now just 3/10 behind Sainsy in what will be P3 in the Pro-Am, and he's been able to do him, and he's up into P10 and P4 in the Pro-Am. Always forget that Ronnie is now a Pro-Am. He's a very quick driver. I think that's one of the reasons why. UJGC still fighting his way back from an incident on turn 1, on lap 1 as well. I think, looking at it, my tyres may be about a lap out, perhaps. I'm not overly sure. We'll see. Usually they're spot on, but I did join the lobby late. Joker then moving ahead of Ben Lane, who Ben Lane is in the pits. I'm presuming he had some sort of wing damage. Boris Johnson setting their new fastest lap of the race so far, 1:22.706. That doesn't come close though to the lap record from DRS, which was set by Smug Git. It was in the 1:21 region. He's got a little way to go to be able to beat that. I should imagine the only way somebody's going to beat that is if they move on to a set of softs at the end. And TSL Syme now thought about making the move on his arch rival and nemesis Swanton Bomb. They shared the trophies last season. The battle between these two is often thought of as a Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton type of battle. I prefer to say, because they're actually friends outside of this, a Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton type of battle. But it's been fabulous throughout the seasons anyhow. TSL Syme looking to take his first championship, as in Drivers' Championship this season. He took the Pro Drivers' Championship last season, while Swanton took the Drivers' Championship. I think it was about a point in it or something ridiculous like that. It was an absolutely incredible final day of the drama of Swanton picking up tyre damage, and which then caused him a puncture, which then lost him the Pro Drivers' Championship. Matteo still keeping up with TSL Syme and Swanton, so he'll be really happy with that. Of course, TSL Syme does have a 3-second time penalty and is running on the faster compound of tyre as well, which we do have to remember. Swanton will be able to go onto those mediums for the final run-in, which the rest of the drivers around him, apart from Matteo can obviously do it. TSL Syme up into P3. But he will have to contend with Swanton's DRS in just a second as well. Going down the pit lane straight. I think these two are going to be changing positions until they pit, but it's an absolute fabulous racing between the pair of them. It's just unfortunately it's coming up ghosted on my screen, which is very frustrating. But let's see if that DRS will be activated. I'll tell you what, we have a full safety car, I believe. Trying to see if I can see the yellow dot. I believe we have, yeah, it's a full safety car, but I don't think anybody has crashed out. I'm not quite sure what the safety car is for. We still have a full grid of 18 cars, but the safety car is out. It's just at turn 1 at the moment. It's a full safety car, ladies and gentlemen. It's not overly sure what for. Very, very rare that that happens, but it does happen from time to time. Usually if it's quite a big impact crash. But I haven't really seen anything out on track. But certainly brings everyone a lot closer together. It doesn't really do TSL Syme any favours, or Sainsey, or Indoneer Mum, but it does do Joker a few favours here. I reckon he'll push those hards to the very, very end now. I think it'll do favours for Levi Hughes, Indoneer Mum as well, and possibly even Ninja MC as well. He's just got to run them hard 17 laps, and they should be more than capable of doing that. A lot of people diving into the pits then, and all coming out on hard compound tyres. This does work out quite well for those medium runners, to be fair. Swanton deciding to pit as well, as does Matteo. They're going to have to push those mediums 16 laps. They're going to have to make some real inroads very, very quickly. I just wonder if it was just the safety car came out ever so early. Really hasn't helped them at all. Smudgett and Sainsbury both deciding to stay out on track. It was too early for either of them to pit. We're 11 laps through this 27 lap Grand Prix, and at the moment your top three are Smudgett in first place, but still yet to pit. Sainsbury in second place, still yet to pit. And so in theory, the rightful leader, Scornful Griffin, who has pitted, of course did get pole position as well. Very, very quick all race weekend in that British Racing Green Aston Martin. He's doing a fabulous job during this race. I think the only thing that might stop him from winning is if he crashes out at any stage, or if he gets any sort of wing damage or anything. I don't see anything else stopping him there. And the safety car still remaining out, but that's because Easy Life is quite a way back in P18. As if he's had to slow down as well, which is annoying for him and the rest of the grid. Ben Lane and Henry, Boris Johnson and Ninja also still yet to catch up with the rest of the field, but I can imagine the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. I think Easy Life should be able to catch up. He does seem to be having to keep slowing down. Whether or not that's an issue with the Delta. But yeah, I still think he should be able to catch up with the rest of the grid. Safety cars come at a good time for him. He's had a really good start to the season, as I said. This race hasn't gone his way though so far. Thanks to a little bit of information there, says the UJGC crashed into a wall, lost his front wing. Not had his best race so far, UJGC. Although he's certainly capable of much, much better. He's a multiple race winner in DRS. And a fabulous driver at that. Certainly put him in the top 5 drivers, if not the top 3 in this league. And UJGC also just apologising for the start. He did completely miss his braking point, which I did think that was quite true. The safety car is back in this lap, so we will get the racing back underway. Let's hope that we get a good safety car restart. We've had a few issues with safety car restarts this year, but we are back underway. Scornful Griffin getting a good lead. Smudgett getting a good lead from Sainsbury. Sainsbury retaining second place and doing a fabulous job. Scornful Griffin, though, has just been overtaken by MK5 on bags. Will they touch here? It's brilliant driving between the pair of them again. They've had some really good battles so far, the Ferrari and the Aston Martin. They've been absolutely brilliant, the pair of them. Really, really good. And Scornful Griffin up into P2. Sainsbury wisely just kind of moving his car out of the way there. It's not a battle he needs to pick. He's driving and racing for the Pro-Am title. He doesn't need to pick fights with these drivers at the moment. Maybe next season, if he gets moved up into the Pro, he'll be able to start picking fights with them. That's exactly what I did last year. You know, if in doubt, move out the way, pick your battles. And I think that's clearly what he just did there. MK5 on bags and Scornful Griffin have now got to be the 2 favourites to win this Grand Prix, unless we get another safety car. Should we do, it could well and truly bring this man into contention. DRS Smudgett certainly didn't have the best of qualifying. In fact, was out-qualified by his Pro-Am teammate, Centra Finley, who did a fabulous job. Swanton Bomb now, looking to make a move on the AlphaTauri of TSL Syme. These two battling hard again. It is that Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg style of rivalry. Very, very clean between the two of them. Fabulous, fabulous driving. Once again, UJGC really rampaging his way through the field. And now up into P8, doing a fabulous job once again in that Haas. Centra Finley, though, still all over the back of him. But he is on the slower compound tyre at the moment. But those mediums, I suspect, will wear off by around lap 24, 25, something along those lines. In which then Centra Finley will certainly have the pace. He just needs to keep up with him for the time being. Swanton Bomb still all over the back of, well, now it's Matteo. Apologies, Matteo is up into P5. But clearly a good overtaking move at some point. But Swanton has dropped down to P6. Apologies for missing that one out. PSL Simon with a really good chance here of at least getting on the podium. Unfortunately for him, he does have that 3-second time penalty. Just certainly not ideal for him. Swanton Bomb retaking P5 off of Matteo. They're very, very, very close. Good respectful driving once again between the pair of them. Matteo seemingly having more straight line speed here. Who's going to break first? I think Matteo should be able to retain the position. No, Swanton down the outside of Matteo again. Matteo does look very, very quick out of those corners, and UJGC is fast barreling towards the pair of them. This battle is certainly slowing up either Matteo or Swanton. They're going to have to put their foot down in theory. And Matteo looking to go down the inside of Swanton. He takes P5. And now will he potentially start a pursuit of Syme? Because of course Syme will be on the faster tyre come the end of the race. And he's already pulled out a 2-second lead. Unfortunately for him, he does have a 3-second time penalty. MK5 on Bags and Scornful Griffin seem to be in a bit of a league of their own, if I'm being completely honest at the moment. Smudgit has still yet to pit. I think he's hoping and praying for another safety car. Obviously the field is quite packed together at the moment. He'll just be hoping and praying for a safety car. I think Joker will be doing the same. Currently down in P14. We all know he's quicker than that. Ben Lane P13. Centra Finley P12. Levi Hughes now looking to maybe make a move on Ronnie. In theory, Ronnie is leading. At the moment, he should be P1 in the Pro-Am battle. Sainsy still yet to pit, and he's got a 3-second time penalty. Boris Johnson and Sainsy touching there. Bit of a good battle going on between the pair of them. Of course, Sainsy does have that time penalty though, unfortunately, which is really not good. The Sloth saying, what happened to my cover in the Aston? Not overly sure, Sloth. 20 drivers were put down, but unfortunately only 18 turned up. Levi Hughes going around the outside. Can he make it stick here? He can. He's overtaken Centra Finley. Centra Finley with a massive, massive spin. And I think he's hit Joker as well. Not overly sure whose fault that was. Just saw two cars spinning around. And it could really cost both of them. It's really unfortunate for the pair. At the moment, Sainsy leading that Pro-Am Championship battle. DRS Smudgit now down to P2. Scornful Griffin already pulling out a 3-second lead. Smudgit goes round. MK goes round Smudgit up into P2. Syme now up into P3. He's looking to challenge MK here. He was 2 seconds behind him not that long ago. Swanton now starting to put a little bit further clear of Matteo in fifth. Swanton's going to have to put his foot down if he wants to get on the podium. I don't think anyone is beating this gentleman here today. Scornful Griffin, he's been absolutely fabulous so far. And I think he's got to be one of the favourites maybe for the Drivers' Championship. Incredibly consistent driver. Doing really, really well. Let's drop a little bit further down the grid. So, of course, Ronnie is leading in the Pro-Am battle at the moment. Levi Hughes behind him. Henry, DJ9 doing a fabulous job. One of the reserve drivers stepping in for the Haas team today. Doing really well down in P11. So well done to you there, Henry. Great job so far. Central Finley's not had the best race. He was brilliant during qualifying. He's run into a little bit of trouble during the course of the race. Ninja MC not having a bad race either. He's up into P13, into near mum. You know, we always expect better of him because he's a really quick and talented driver. He just hasn't been able to see it through to the very end so far. Central Finley, yeah, having a great battle here with Henry DJ9. Really intriguing battle between the pair of them. Central Finley up into P11, which puts him in P3 in the Pro-Am. Good overtaking move from him, but Henry DJ does have the DRS available to him. Decides not to make the move on Central Finley. Central Finley. Oh, and there is a touch there. I think that may have been Henry going into the back of Central Finley there. He's not having a lot of luck. In fact, the Williams team really isn't having too much luck. There is a McLaren, I think, off the track. Oh, no, it's Ninja MC. And he looks as if he's struggling a little bit there with connection. And yeah, he's really, really struggling from the looks of things. He's also lost his front wing in that mix-up as well. And we do have I think it's a virtual safety car. I haven't seen a yellow dot come up on the mini-map yet. I think it's just a virtual. But maybe now that brings Syme back into contention for... I mean, he'd be hard pushed to get a win, I think. The speed and the pace of Scornful. And with that 3-second time penalty, it'd be hard push, and plus it's only a virtual, so yeah, I still don't think we're going to be seeing anyone catching Scorn, but Syme certainly has a good opportunity to take P2. MK5 on Bags, and the virtual safety car has now finished. MK5 on Bags will have to deal with the onslaught that Swanton will bring at some stage, although Swanton's tyres maybe not got a huge amount of life left in them. They're 8 laps old now. Probably capable of doing between 12 and 13 laps at full speed. Henry DJ9 picking up a 3-second time penalty. You won't be too happy with that. I should imagine Smug Git here trying to improve on his previous fastest lap, which is why he's on the soft compound tyre. He's currently residing down in P13. So your top three at the moment then: Scornful Griffin doing a fabulous job in the Aston Martin, TSL Syme in second in the AlphaTauri, UJGC picking up a 3-second time penalty. It really cost him come the end of the race. MK5 on Bags in the Ferrari, P3. Swanton Bomb, last season's championship winner, in P4. Matteo doing a fabulous job as one of the reserve drivers in the McLaren in P5. UJGC, after not a great start, works his way back up into P6, but he does have a 3-second time penalty looming there. Boris Johnson in P7. Ronnie leading the way for the Pro-Ams in P8 and doing a fabulous job. Ben Lane P9. Levi Hughes in P2 and P10 respectively in the Pro-Am and the actual race itself. Indoneer Mum P3 in the Pro-Am. Henry DJ P4 in the Pro-Am, doing a fabulous job today. Smug Git not having his best race, but he does set the new fastest lap, but it is not the record. The record is in the 1:21, so he's still got a little way to go there. Central Finley, he's been very unlucky in this race. He was very, very, very quick during the qualifying phase of the weekend, but unfortunately not having his best race. Easy Life in 15th now. Sainsy in P16. Joker P17 not having his best race. He's had to make a couple of stops though. Ninja MC as well. He's had to make a couple of stops, I think, as well. Let's just have a look. Stops, yeah. So Joker's had to make 2. Ninja's had to make 2. Boris Johnson's had to make 2, as has Ben Lane. So for those two to be as high up as what they are, Boris Johnson and Ben Lane, they're clearly doing a good job. In terms of position changes, TSL Syme's up 1, MK's up 2, Swanton's down 2, Matteo's up 5, he's doing fabulously. UJGC retains his qualifying position. Boris Johnson down 3, Ben Lane up 3, Ronnie up 4, Levi down 2, Indoneer Mum up 7, Smug Git down 3, Henry up 3, Indoneer Mum now up 6 as Smug Git goes round him. Central Finley down 7, Sainsy down 3, Easy Life down 1, Joker down 3, Ninja MC down 1. Penalties at the moment as things stand. Syme has a 3-second time penalty. UJGC 3 seconds. Indenimum 3 seconds. Henry 3 seconds. Sainsy 3 seconds. And Ninja MC coming off the track there. Joker 3 seconds as well. Let's go then back to the battle between MK and TSL Syme. It certainly seems to be the closest one out on track at the moment. Although there is a bit of a battle between Centra Finley and Henry DJ. Centra Finley going down the outside of Henry DJ. These two did have it coming together on a previous lap. Centra Finley backing out there. Henry retaining that position of P13. Let's go back up the grid. Let's go to Boris Johnson. He's not overly far behind UJGC. And in fact, UJGC is not that far behind Matteo. I'm really fingers crossed that UJGC doesn't catch Matteo for the McLaren team. Swanton just over a second behind MK. He's going to really have to put his foot down if he's going to catch him. Of course, in theory, I think Syme is very much at risk of dropping out of the top 3 due to that 3-second time penalty. Ronnie goes around Ben Lane and takes P8. He's having a fabulous race today, Ronnie. Well done to you, sir. You're leading the Pro-Am battle today. You are first in the Pro-Am in terms of today's race, doing a fabulous job. Swanton does seem to be gaining on MK here. He is on the faster compound tyre, but they are 11 laps old. Well, I should imagine they would be starting to grain. Joker, a 121.695 on that medium compound tyre. It's an absolutely fabulous lap. I'm just going to actually check to see if that is the fastest lap. I think it could be, you know. Let's have a look. Let's just quickly double check that. Let's if I can work it out. You know what? It's just a little bit slower. The fastest lap time is a 121.568, so it is just ever so slightly slower by Joker, who's going to have to push again to beat that. But certainly capable of beating it on the mediums, which is incredibly good. I wonder if Smug Git's soft tyres are going to go to the end. He's got another 4 laps to do. He's had issues with punctures already this season, particularly at Bahrain, where they went in the sprint race and the main race as well. It did cost him some vital points. Swanton then just over half a second behind MK. If he can get round MK, he's in a good position to potentially take P2. At the moment, I think he would be taking P3. Yeah, he would. He'd just about be taking P3. Syme's really got to push here. His tyres should be the better one towards the last couple of laps. Now, there's a lot of mediums out there, going to be an interesting few laps. Yeah, there is. Yeah. I think the hard tyres are the better tyre to have towards this back end of this Grand Prix. I should imagine Swanton and Matteo's and UJ's tyres are starting to grain now, with just 3 laps left of this fabulous race. Not a single DNF, which is a full credit to the DRS league. Yeah, well done to everyone today. Obviously there has been a few incidents here and there which will be looked at by stewards after the race, but all in all, we started off with 18. At the moment we still have 18. So well done to everyone in that regards. So as things stand, Scornful Griffin, who would have started P1, will finish P1. He's putting out a decent gap on him and Syme. Syme, of course, does have that 3-second time penalty. MK5 on bags is running in P3 at the moment, but would jump ahead of Syme, as would Swanton. So at the moment, Syme will be dropping down to P4. He'll be absolutely gutted with that, because that penalty was picked up very, very early on as well. Henry DJ dropping into the pits then. Guessing he must have had some front wing damage, which puts him down in P17, unfortunately. Scornful Griffin, I believe that might even have actually matched. It's not there. It's not quite there. The fastest is 121.568, so it's not quite there. Very, very close from Scornful Griffin. That's on a set of hards as well. Sainsy picking up another 3-second time penalty. I don't think it's going to affect him too much though, considering where he is out on track at the moment. Running in P14, but he does have a 10-second gap on Easy Life behind him. I don't think it's going to cause him any major issues there. We'll just double check that fastest lap time. I don't think it is. It's very close, but not quite. At the moment, Smugget still has the fastest lap time from a previous race here at Monza. So yes, things stand. Scornful Griffin leading the way in the Pro Drivers' Championship. TSL Syme will drop to about 4th at the moment unless he can really pick up the pace. MK5 on Bags would take 2nd and Swanton 3rd. Matteo would remain 5th, UJ 6th, Boris 7th. And then Pro-Am drivers, we would see Ronnie take P1. Levi Hughes having another solid performance, taking P2. Indoneer Mum would pick up his first points of the season in P3. Centra Finley would be P4. Sainsy would be P5. Easy Life would be P6. Henry P7 and Ninja P8. Joker picking up another 3-second time penalty. We're on the penultimate lap then. We're on lap 26 of 27. And I tell you what, was that the Red Bull that's just come off the track? I think it is. Or was that might have been Ninja, to be fair. I think that was Ninja. Yeah, sorry, that was Ninja. I thought that might have been Swanton, but it was indeed Ninja. UJGC not far behind Matteo now. But with that penalty, I can't see him taking 5th, if I'm being completely honest, UJGC. I think Matteo will retain 5th. And that would have been an absolutely fabulous drive. So, oh! Now that changes everything. Matteo picking up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. It's going to be an interesting battle between these two then. UJGC will have the opportunity to get him down the pit lane straight. UJGC running very wide himself there. I suspect he probably picked up a bit of a warning. So further down the grid, Levi Hughes getting a really good exit out of that one, challenging his teammate Ben Lane for P9. He's desperate to catch up with Ronnie, of course, who is his championship rival. And I think the Mercedes teammate Ben Lane may have just moved out his way, or maybe not. No, the two Mercedes are going to battle here. Let's just hope they don't touch. It's very, 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 very close. So, no, they don't touch, so good driving from the pair of them. Let's go back up then. MK really starting to pound in on Syme. Swanton's got to be careful he doesn't fall too far back. Of course, this is the final lap of this Grand Prix. And he should take P3, bar any penalties. That'll be the same that goes for MK5 on Bags as well. He's got to be very careful. He's had a really good race day. Boris Johnson up into P6. He's overtaken UJGC. He's had a good recovery drive. He had an instant. I tell you what, there's yellow flag somewhere. Does seem to have cleared. I think it's slightly further back. Can't see anything. We'll go then back to Scornful Griffin coming around in the Aston Martin to win here in Monza. Scornful Griffin, a fabulous drive from the Aston Martin driver. He takes P1 and control of the Drivers' Championship. Well done to you, Scornful Griffin, in the Aston Martin. MK5 on Bags picks up P2. Swanton Bomb picks up P3. Syme, because of that penalty, only takes P4. He finished P2 on track, though. Boris Johnson, good recovery drive from him. He takes P5 in the end due to Matteo's penalty. Matteo finishes in P6. UJGC P7. Ronnie in P8. Levi Hughes P9. He manages to get round his teammate Ben Lane. Centra Finley taking P11. and the rest of the drivers will cross shortly. But in terms of Pro and Pro-Am, so the top three, all Pro drivers, and then the Pro-Am starting from Ronnie, who takes P1. Lever Hughes takes P2. He'll be pleased with that, I think, in regards to his pursuit of another Pro-Am Drivers' Championship. Centra Finley takes P3. Good drive from him today. He was very, very unlucky in certain parts of this race. Indoneman finishes his first race. He takes P4 in the Pro-Am. Sainsy takes P5. Henry takes P6. Ninja takes P7. And Easy Life takes P8 in the Pro-Ams. So well done to all of them. So the Games Driver of the Day has been given to UJGC. I think my driver of the day would probably... It's a tough one. I think there was any... I think it's got to be Scorn. I know everyone will say, oh, just giving it to the winner, but you know, he controlled the race from start to finish, even with that awkward safety car part way through. I think it's got to go to Scorn. I think he was absolutely fabulous today. Controlled the race from start to finish. He had to deal with MK5 on Bags, who was clearly a strong competitor today. Syme couldn't keep pace with him despite his incredibly strong pace. Swanton finishing, of course, in P3, but P4 out on track. Didn't really trouble him today, and this is obviously a race that's you know, Swanton has won twice over, or 3 times in fact, sorry. So it's a strong race, a strong track for him. But of course, what I did miss partway through, and I will show you now, a new lap record has just been set. The lap record was set by Joker, who finished down in P16. Didn't have his best of races, but he will take home that trophy of getting the new fastest lap. The DRS lap record, which is a 1:21.088. He takes that title off of Smug Git, who himself today didn't have his best race either. So Joker will be happy with that, but not his overall performance. And for some reason I can't click anything out of this, so we'll just wait for the countdown to finish. But well done today. Everyone finished, which is obviously incredibly good, not only for the league, but for all our viewers out there as well. So that's the end of tonight's stream. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Of course, criticise wherever you can. But I've been King Kong. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. Hopefully next week I'll be able to get back in that McLaren and race alongside my very good teammate 50 Gent, and hopefully we can start clawing our way back in the Constructors' Championship. But today's race belongs to that Aston Martin Scornful Griffin and Ronnie as well, who of course won the Pro-Am side of things. Well done everyone. Thank you and good night.